What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all living, man? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's get this thing going one way or another. Yes. So, with that being said, man, we're gonna be able to look at this roster basically, and look at the guys that's gonna show up and be ready to ball out of control, out of their minds. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Yesterday we had I'm talking about a great round table. It was fantastic. It was one of those things where we all got together, me, Foots, my guy Coulier, as well as the infamous Vach Lombardi who keeps the party. And we was talking about the players that and how many quarterbacks you go with, how many running backs you lean on, how many tight ends you go with. Got some feedback, from you guys as far as the hard cuts, who we should cut, and how in the world Tavon Austin is going to be able to stay on his team, things like that. So, I mean, we got to look at it from A to Z. And the way I look at it and the way I see it, Cowboy Nation, is that really, if we just continue to take one day at a time, of course, then the right players will be in the mix. But I'm trusting this front office, I'm trusting this staff to get things going. What's up, Fred? Thank you for tuning in. Rodney Ellis, Sheila Neal, thank you for holding it down. My Cowboys family, really appreciate you guys. Can't wait to see you guys week one. Uh, I think that's when you guys are coming down. And it's going to be a big old party. For those that's in the Dallas area, June the 15th, I should have more information for you all. One of the guys that's really just going to be on the edge, per se, will be the Alan Hearns. We having an event with his mom. It's going to be a book event, and hopefully we have Alan Hearns and maybe another receiver there. Um, and he's one of the guys that I feel like he should make the team, but we'll see how he looks as it relates to, after when you put on some pads and stuff like that. We would love to see him out there on the field because if you look at the last few games that Alan Hearns played in, he's not the fastest guy in the world, right? But I would say right now, currently on this roster, he is the pretty much, to me personally, the third best route runner outside of the Randall Cobbs and Amari Cooper. Michael Gallup is still learning, and although we see some strength and we see some growth patterns with Michael Gallup, but there's still some things that we have to wait and see what he's going to look like against in training camp. One of the favors right now is the Johnson kid, is it John Villa Johnson, as well as the. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I forgot to check my audio. Let me know. Cowboy Nation, let me know if you guys are able to hear me. Give me a thumbs up or something like that. Let me know. Um, John Villa Johnson and also the Michael Jackson. So that is something that we're going to be looking forward to during training camp when they put the pads on, the one-on-ones, seeing if those guys can outperform and get people out there. My thing is, should the Cowboys go with five wide receivers, or should the Cowboys go with? Okay, thank you, Steven. He said, "Yeah, you guys can hear me." Yeah, John Guyton. Let me see. My God, my Cowboys family. Watched them in UDFA, undrafted free agency wide receivers. Um, yeah, watch for them. They're hungrier. I can say that my Cowboys family, when you are a rookie at that, and then you undrafted, you got a bone to pick. You trying to prove to the world because Alan Hearns know the rope. He was undrafted, right? He was one of those guys that said to himself, "Hey, let me see. I got a text message. Let me see. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna put who is this? So, so with that being said, Cowboy Nation, we're looking at everything. Now, when we talking about, I gotta say this. When we talking about guys that are hungry, and when we are hungry, let me see. Rodney Ellis said we should go with six. Yeah, I'm with you. Hey Rodney, put down who do you feel should be the six wide receivers, and don't forget Tony Pollard is a running back, but a lot of people looking at, hey, maybe he can play that wide receiver role. Maybe you can roll with five, and that's what the conclusion last night. Well, like they can go with five five wide receivers. Pollard is a hybrid player. Brandon Williams, shout out to you, Brandon Williams. It's a Q&A session, man. Michael Jackson will be a starter. Mark my words. Die Hard 1, 2, 3, and 6. Yes, yes. We'll jump back on the defensive side of the ball. But on the wide receivers play, put down, guys, you guys, five wide receivers. Because, all right, so this is good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff from my Cowboys family. Good stuff. He says, Coop, Gallup, and who else we have? Cobb, Tavion. I got to call him Tavion. That's what old Jerry Jones call him. Cedric Wilson, Noah Brown, question mark. Okay, no Hearns in the mix, man. Let me see. Would you rather have Allen Hearns or Noah Brown? Because I think that Allen Hearns showed us still, even with a half of a leg, a little bit more than what a Noah Brown was able to show us. Now, this is the thing. Noah Brown can develop and become one of those guys. But I'm thinking that Noah Brown's situation is that he cannot line up everywhere on the field, right? He is the quote-unquote looking at Michael Gallup saying, man, that's supposed to be my position. Because I think that Noah Brown is more of an X receiver than a guy that you can insert anywhere on the line. And I was able to see some college tape of Michael Gallup playing to the inside, but Michael Gallup on the outside. So Noah Brown got two options. Either he's going to battle and outperform for that X position, or is he going to say, hey, I'm going to try to do my best to be the best of the tight ends. And I don't think that the Cowboys are going to go that way. I don't think so. My guy right now is Cooper. He got Cobb, Gallup. Let me say, he got Coop. I'm sorry, I can't even read today. He got Cooper, Gallup, Cobb, Guyton, and Smith and Wilson. Oh, that's Robert Turner. Okay, but Rodney got Cobb, Gallup, Cobb. No, Coop, Gallup, Cobb, Cedric Wilson, Tavon Austin, and Allen Hearns. So, cut Brown equals no money. Save money by cutting Hearns and save $5 million. And then you can pick up a safety with that $5 million. I feel you. I see you. My thing is that I don't know, man. Let me see what all Noah Brown can do. Let me see. Noah Brown, he's a good route runner. No. But he is a physical guy. He's a good blocker. And on top of that, they heavily recruited him so that Ezekiel Elliott can run with him, right? Because Ezekiel Elliott knows him and these sorts of things. But if you're talking about $5 million, and I'm looking at the latter part of the season, I'm looking at this guy Allen Hearns being able to do some things. Let's do this. My Cowboys family, are you free? I can send you the link, and maybe you can jump in to explain to me. Let me know if you're free. If you're free, I can send you the link or what have you. I think I got access to the link that I can send it to you. Jay, what's good, man? Cutting Hearns actually pays for Cobb. Go look at the contract. All right, this is Jay. My thing is, Jay, yeah, you're right about that. Is Cobb on a one-year rental? Is Cobb on a one-year rental? Because we got a lot of one-year guys. We got Cobb, one-year rental. Robert Quinn, one-year rental. Let me see if I can do this real quick. Appreciate you, Cowboy Nation. Appreciate you. My Cowboys family. Let me go right here. And we're going to put these little bad babies on right here so that you guys so I can hear them when I invite them. Let's see. And we'll go right here. Yeah, we're going to talk about this. I'm I'm gonna shoot you guys this link on via Twitter, and that way we can talk about it right quick. And I really appreciate you guys' content. Uh, I like the fact that you guys are going to be down here week one. That's going to be a plus, and letting people know about the Cowboys experience. That's everything, for real, for real. And we all got to look at it from these things right here, Cowboy Nation, is that when we start to talk about like the people that's on the final roster and things like that, boy, let me see, got to go here. Appreciate you guys' patience with me. And I am looking for, there we go. Like I'm bobbing and weaving. My Cowboys family. And move this over here. I got my camera in the way. I can't really see. There we go. You are in the mix. And wow. There we go. And all right, so I sent you the link. It's via Twitter. That's the best way I can send it. And just let me know. Travis, what's good, man? And shout out to Sheila Neal again. And Christopher Lewis. Cobb is going to make Witten unstoppable again. Yeah, I like that, Christopher, because if you really look at it, when you're talking about Jason Witten and his 3-5 yards hook out and the Y option route, there's another sector of the field. And the other sector of the field on the opposite side will be where Cobb will live. And one can argue that Cobb's ability to run inside, as well as the, I will say, Amari Cooper, you're looking at ways where now you can flip those guys, and it makes the defense really honest. And when you're trying to load the box, I think Cobb can take the top off the defense. If you still go with the notion of keeping Tavon Austin, he can take the top off the defense. And those are things that we're looking for. Tavon is his first year. Yeah, in his second year, we should see something. Shout out to Philly Cowboys as well. Thank you for tuning in to the nation. Really appreciate you guys. So we're looking at all of those factors there. Zach Nation, what's up? Michael Gallup, red zone threat. Yeah, I think that it was a game that Michael Gallup did a great job. I think it was against the Tennessee, or it could have been against another team, but he was able to catch the ball, but he couldn't get his 2 feet down, right? And I was saying, like, man, that guy looks like a young Michael Irvin. Then I saw another play. Man, that guy looks like a young Dez Bryant. So I'm thinking that with Michael Gallup strengthening his lower body, I'm thinking that Michael Gallup will be an extreme plus for 2019. Cedric Wilson, going into last year, I was on record saying that Cedric Wilson, he's a better route runner than a Michael Gallup. So those are things that we have to pay attention to as well, because when you talking about a guy that can run inside and outside routes, and then he got this hidden speed about himself, he does everything that you really like out of Terrence Williams, but he got better hands. Now, far as Terrence Williams not running out of bounds and then running out of bounds, all that crazy stuff, that's a story of a different day. I hope wherever Terrence Williams goes, he lands on his feet. But what I'm saying is that the skill set that Cedric Wilson was able to bring is going to be similar to a Terrence Williams, but with better hands, if that can make any sense for you guys. Let me see who else we have here. We have Derek Savage Time. What he's saying over here, Cobb can be a threat anywhere on the field. Yes. And by him being a threat anywhere on the field, it opens up everything. And just think about this, Cowboy Nation. Just think about this. Just hear me out. We talked about Cole Beasley when he was here. His ability to be a threat inside anywhere on the field. Man, now if you look at what Cobb is able to do, OMG. Let me see where we have here. Man, I appreciate you guys. Man, we got a lot of people commenting. I really appreciate it. Some of y'all want players you never seen. This is Jay Farm. And then he got the laughing emojis. And Jay is right. You know, I said that last night to Foots. He was saying that, okay, we can get rid of Tavon Austin because of the Guyton kid, or I think the John via Johnson kid, they might be able to supplant him or be more serviceable than him in these sorts. And I was like, oh man, I just don't know, man, because I'm looking at last year and I'm thinking that we don't beat the Seattle Seahawks in the playoff if it wasn't for my boy, you see. So I'm looking at it like that. I'm sitting here like, man, if we can just keep Tavon Austin and have Randall Cobb and also have the Amari Coopers of the world, man, and then still have a Michael Gallups, I would rather have that than to have the xenophobia, the fear of the unknown. We just don't know. We just don't know what those other boys can bring. We don't. Look.
What's up? What's up, Law? How you doing?
What's up, man? Yes, yes, yes. What's good with you? First, I was
Didn't mean to
nervous for
interrupt.
a second.
I was chilling. I was chilling in the background, letting you do your thing, man.
No, no, no. So, give me your thoughts on like who's the OTAs and slash training camp favors, or who you're leaning towards to win in their individual battles.
Well, it's hard to tell because OTAs, no pads. You
Right.
know, they hit. Everyone's taking it a little easier. They're hitting dummies, and they're not. It's hard to tell. I mean, I just love what Pollard kind of starting to show out there.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of what we might have with Tristan Hill. I think he's a guy that's going to be surprising a lot of people. Mainly towards, like, let's say week 10, 11, 12. I think you're going to see him really coming on stronger at that part of the season, being used more. And I say this on our channel that I wouldn't be surprised if Tristan Hill actually, like, percentage-wise, snaps on the field. I think by the end of the year, he might be equal or past the other two starters there, Woods and Malik Collins. I just think it depends on his progression, development. I'm hopeful on him, so I'm a little overhyped on him when it comes to the new guys. I just think he's kind of a guy everyone's kind of disappointed with because we didn't get a safety and they're overlooking him. The impact he's going to have on stopping the run, stopping the pass. And I'm saying stopping, I'm saying but even disruptive. That's the key under tackle. One of the few guys out there that play that at the 3 tech with Marinelli. They know more than I do about this, but that's the guy, one of the guys they really keyed on that run's going to make the defense kind of go forward, and not just for this year, but really for the future. So I'm really looking forward to what he's going to do. And I really like all the rookies like as a depth kind of for the future kind of thing, not really for this year as much of an impact as for more for next year and the years after. The undrafted guys, I agree with you though. The unknown with these other guys, I like Jalen Guyton. I like John Vea Johnson. And I've seen them. I've actually seen them do stuff out there. I've read stuff about these guys for the last couple of days and the last couple of weeks in OTAs. But yeah, I mean, you got to look, we have a lot of great receivers right now, depth wise. You were talking about Hearns. My thing with Hearns is the money. The money with Hearns, he has to ball out, which I think he can do
Right.
after the injury, but he has to have, I think he has to actually have, Tavon kind of be limping around a little bit. And, Cobb has some injury issues too. I mean, if those things rear their ugly heads early, I think Hearns makes the team. But I think that if you have to cut somebody, Hearns might be a very good slot guy, but is he better than Cobb when Cobb's healthy? Is he better than Tavon Austin? Tavon's healthy. And even if he is he worth the $5 million that we're going to we can save, let's say, even if we don't use it this year for a player, we can still, that rolls over the next year. So when it comes to receivers, I just think I like, Cooper. Gallup, I think is going to be fantastic. Beyonce is really high on him with the whole year under the belt with Dak, and another year in the NFL. Same thing with Cooper, a whole offseason with Dak. It's going to be great. And then I think when you look at Cobb, he's got the veteran quarterback eyeballs. He can read the defense, plays that slot, can play inside or outside. It's going to free up Cooper to go inside too. I think that's going to be a key piece for us if he stays healthy. And then, Tavon, that Kellen Moore piece, and then you got Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson Jr. I think they're going to fight it out for 5 or 6 receivers, because we're going to be going more 10 personnel. We're using more 3 receiver, 4 receiver sets. I do believe we'll keep at least 6 receivers this year, at least.
Oh, wow.
So hey,
so run me down your 6 guys then, as far as receivers again.
Cooper, Gallup, Cobb, Tavon Austin. And again, this is where it comes. Cedric Wilson Jr. I think he's going to get over Noah Brown because he's had a couple shots already. Kind of wasn't able to shine as much. I think Noah Brown have a chance. It's going to be. I think Noah Brown's going to be fighting it out with one of those two guys we named from the undrafted list. I don't think Lance Lenore is going to come close to making this team. I think he should have made it. I don't think he should have made the practice squad. But
practice squad last year, huh? It was rough for him.
He's always on the team somehow. But
the only reason he made it is because Cedric Wilson got hurt. Let's be real.
Beyonce dropping some knowledge there too.
Dropping diamonds over here. Look, this is the thing. She mentioned special teams. So one of these guys, the Gaitans, the John Vea, I think John Vea, right? Those guys, they're going to have to win. The only way they find themselves on this roster, if they can be like one of those guys that can be a special team warrior, block some kicks, block some punts, do something, run something back, be the gunner, they're going to have to be willing to do that, especially when you start talking about the Noah Browns of the world and Lance Lenore. They still on this roster for a reason, so special team is their only gateway, I believe.
That's a good point because I don't see Cedric Wilson playing special teams, but you're Noah Brown, bigger guy, can be more impactful and block and all that. So again, whether it's like you said on defense or offense, either of those guys. Noah Brown definitely has a hand over, has a slight advantage over Cedric Wilson at this point. I just think who's the better receiver. I think it's all going to play out in training camp, and that's what I'm really really excited for. But I'm with you, man. I think most of the guys are going to make this team. Most of these guys are going to be guys we know already. There's going to be a lot of competition, and some guys might falter a little bit, maybe go in a little lower in the depth chart. A couple might get cut. It'll be tough cuts, but that's great when you have a team full of very good players, starters, very good depth position. We're set up to go for number 6 this year.
Yeah, let me ask you this though. So the other battles, we understand that with the wide receivers. Now, who do you have on the defensive side on the front four? Who would be the odd man out on that scenario?
That's a great one too.
Because it's similar. It's similar to the wide receivers.
Yeah, we got 15 guys.
I don't think, honestly, I can really say too much on that until we see how some of these injuries shake out. And we have to see a little bit more from these guys because the Cowboys have enough pieces here that a lot of it comes down to who's healthy. Obviously, we do expect Tank, but if Tank maybe is injury-wise on the later end of that, if he misses a game or has to miss all of training camp, all of preseason, like who does step into that role? Right. Who do you think would be the best one? Like, out of all these injuries and stuff, what's your line, baby?
For me, I think it's going to be. I think Tank obviously makes a team, but you're looking at you move over to the again. I think the main starters are kind of set. You got Tank, you got Antoine Woods, you got Malik Collins,
you got Quinn.
and you got Robert Quinn, who will be playing. I think more second and third downs than first. I think you'll see Tyron Crawford in there, Taco in there. So I still think they make the team. And I think Dorrance Armstrong too on the left side. He's right now being the backup to Tank. I like these guys, of course. Tristan Hill in the interior there. And then it comes to the point where how many do we keep, right? So I think that you got Joe Jackson in there. I really want to see what he does because he's like a mauler kind of a rusher. He puts up sacks. We like that. We need that. And I want to see how he plays in training camp and preseason. And Kerry Hyder, he's a name that's in there. Christian Covington, a guy interior, going to be showing out too. And Daniel Ross, can't forget about him. So this is going to be a fun battle here in the trenches on the defensive side for sure. Our offensive side, we know our trenches. We got 9 guys. I'm marking them right off right now. We got 9 spots on the offensive line as far as I'm concerned. With our front 5, Xavier Suafilo, Joe Looney, Cam Fleming, who I'm assuming he's going to make the team, and then, of course, Connor McGovern. But that's 9 guys. I don't think you really have a big battle there, honestly. But when you look at the defensive side of the trenches, that's where it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch who makes his team. And I don't think it's going to be a loss. It's not going to be like a bad thing. It's actually, we got so much depth that's just the cream of the crop is going to rise to the top. And I can't wait to see what comes out of that.
I love that the cream of the crop is going to rise to the top. Yes, get down, put down. That's what I'm talking about, man. Boy, we can rhyme off of that stuff, man. Hey, the only thing that I can look at from here is the guy that's going to make everybody forget about hey, we didn't select a safety, will be number 33. Will be Michael Jackson. Right now, everybody's raving about him, but he's going to be the guy if he can really hold up as it relates to health-wise. He can be the guy that make everybody forget about it. And, of course, we already know about Tristan, but my philosophy is with those type of guys that play into the inside, normally they don't blossom and shine until like year 2, year 3, or what have you. So, but the guy that makes all of the interceptions, the guy that picked the ball off, fumbles and stuff like that, it can make people forget real quick that, hey, the Cowboys selected, Tristan Hill over Blase. What do you feel about that?
That's a good point.
I
Great
mean,
point.
I think part of it is Cowboy Nation really hoping that we don't get screwed with that pick, hoping that Michael Jackson can be that guy because we chose to go a different path when it came to Thornhill, when it came to Hill. Obviously with Hill, I think for the most part, Cowboy Nation's expectations are pretty tempered. Like, we're not expecting him to go out there and be an immediately super impactful player. We understand he has some growth, but that there is the potential there. But like you said, if our safeties or our corners aren't getting interceptions, aren't making those plays, it's going to be hard for us to say Michael Jackson was the right move or the right choice. And again, still need to see him out there, but the hope is there. The potential is definitely there. And we have to see it pan out.
And I've seen, actually, we're going about OTAs and a couple things here. There's nothing really until they put the pads on and see training camp preseason. But Michael Jackson, again, before he even came out, he said he can play any. There's a quote from him from when he got drafted. He could play any position, in the backfield. Whether it's strong safety, free safety, corner, slot, whatever, slot corner, whatever it is, he can do that. He has the size, the length, what Richard loves. And again, hearing what Richard said about him, that he can play the slot corner spot. He could play strong safety spot. And these are important things that I heard from Richard saying this, because that's the spot. So we really kind of want to shore up, whether it's Anthony Brown staying next year. We don't know what's going to happen. I think cornerback's a position we got to look at next year as well, but Michael Jackson might help out with that. So I do think that I'm excited to see what he's doing. But like Fiance said about Tristan Hill, I'm also tempered about Michael Jackson. I'm actually excited about Pollard to see what he can do, but I'm also, kind of more excited about that side of things. But in the flashy sense, but I think that Michael Jackson, Donovan Wilson, we don't know what he's going to do. Another guy could pick that role as well. I think he's a 6th round pick. So, I mean, these guys, we got some guys. I know, I feel bad for Richard because all the years he's been here, we don't draft anybody for him. He's got to create everything on his own. Yeah. So, I'm glad they give him some pieces, but they give him 4th rounders, 5th rounders, and then the 5th rounders and 6th rounders. They're not giving him 1st rounders. So 2nd rounders, I think next year is going to be his time to get, if he's still with us, I hope he is, Richard, but I think we're going to, if needed, I think corners will be in there. I think safety will be looked at. I think I talked about really tight end. The only position you might have to look at in a serious way, in the sense of when Witten's gone, Witten's going to be coach. He's going to be looking at our tight end saying, these guys can't do it. Or maybe Blake Jarwin can do it, but he'll know. He'll be the best one to know that next year. And we'll look at those spots, I think, in the draft and free agency next year.
Yes, indeed. So, man, you dropping some dimes over here, man. That's some good stuff, man. I just can't wait for OTAs to be over with and then training camp. That's going to be the battle. I mean, it's going to be somewhat better than most games out there. I'm ready for somebody to get out there and fight. I want people to really claw and get to that position and just fight it out, So all of the diva wide receivers, I don't think that we have none of those this year. And then out of all of the defensive players, I'm thinking that right now, Cheeto's a little limped up, and that's my boy. You guys know how that feel. And Jordan Lewis feel kind of shafted in a sense. So we're going to see how this thing all shake out. I just can't wait for a training camp to come, man. I'm for real.
Yeah, no, I'm also. I missed the last question. I missed the last thing you said there. I'm sorry.
Oh, I kind of bleeped out a little bit. I was saying that I said I can't wait for this battle to come, like training camp. We don't really have diva receivers. A couple of years ago, you remember Jordan Lewis like, Dez, come on, Dez. I don't think that we have that type of dog receiver on our team that's going to be like, come on, let's get it on. But there's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that I want to see who's going to be the dog on the defensive side that's really willing to fight for that position. Right now we have my boy Cheeto Woozier. He's injured or what have you. And I know there's a long ways before training camp. But we want to see, can everybody else pick it up and fight for that position that he's leaving out there on the table, as well as with that safety. Are you guys team Jeff Heath?
No, look, from the beginning, we've not been team Jeff Heath, and still very.
I'm team. I've accepted Jeff Heath. I've accepted that's the choice the Cowboys have made. And for all the good and all the bad, like, that's who we got. And I just hope that, again, we did see him get better last year under Richard's defense with that different scheme. I'm hoping that having Woods in, I'm hoping that maybe, I can't even believe I'm saying this, Alaka, just because I think that Frazier, with his injuries and everything else, like if Alaka can go out there and maybe be a little more consistent, and maybe a little healthier, maybe make a few more moves. Like, again, just gives Jeff Heath a better chance to do what he does best occasionally.
Yeah, and again, remember, he's going to take this would take Loco is going to take off some and Frazier. I think only one of them will make the team, but they're going to be playing special teams, like you were saying earlier, Law. That that's a big part about making these teams too. So it's not just if he balls out or does okay at safety, but does really well at special teams, that could be the make or break for some of these guys on the bubble. But I do think that's a good point. If Fiance says that Iloka's going to try to compete with Heath as much as he can. He's also going to
like positions that are out there up for grabs, right. Like with Kayvon being hurt, it's a lot of chance.
And then when you talked about Chidobe Awuzie, who again, first was a hamstring, but I've heard it's a hip issue, which is again for him, it's not another hamstring. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as horrible. Of course, still got to be watched. Long way to go. But I think Cheeto, I think he's going to win. I think he's still a very good, solid tackler. So is Byron Jones, a great tackling corners. I think that that he'll be okay for the season. I don't think he's going to lose a spot or anything like that. I think it's more Michael Jackson trying to make it up the ladder kind of way, and maybe being the guy that maybe they can say, okay, we can rely on him next year because Anthony Brown's going to make the team. I love where he's come from. He's really rebounded from that second-year slump. I see some people saying about Anthony Brown. He's not going to, he's going to make the team. I know he's going to make the team, but next year he's a free agent. And I don't really know what the Cowboys' plans are going to be when he's a free agent and they got other guys that they can, that they're going to have to fill that spot up with, whether it's a rookie or Michael Jackson or Jordan Lewis. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be an interesting battle. I think that Jordan Lewis has he does have that feistiness, that fire. I just don't know if he fits Richard's defense as well, but he's still making this team, so he's doing some things right. And
we haven't even mentioned one position that I think is still a big of a question mark, but tight end. I mean, it just, I know you talked about it, baby, a little bit, but no, it just, Jason Witten is a weird thing on our team because even if he's here for this year, he's arguably the best tight end out of the ones that we have. But one of these young guys has to step it up. One of these young guys has to come up and take the mantle. And obviously right now, Jarwin's kind of the clear-cut front runner, but I think it leaves the Cowboys in a spot where they have to decide what they want to do at tight end.
Oh yeah. Anytime you have the owner crying, telling stories about Jason Witten, he's the starter. There's no way that I can see on this green earth or blue earth, however we look at it, that Jason Witten is going to be the second tight end. So it's going to be Jason Witten, not Schultz, Jarwin, Jason Witten, Jarwin, and then your boy Schultz, and then Rico. I'm thinking that they still go with 4 tight ends.
That's interesting. I think Rico is definitely on the bubble on this one, and because we have so much talent out there, and all the other positions. We talked about it in the 9 offensive linemen, probably, probably about the same amount of defense, if not more. And then depending on what, Tank situation, if he's injured but still on the roster, right, you got to carry a spot now for him. So I don't know if there's going to be room for Rico. I do think the other 3 guys will make it. I don't think Dalton Schultz is going to be the guy for the future. I think Blake Jarwin's the best shot. And I trust Witten watching him kind of, even if Witten gets a lot of the snaps, he'll know if Blake will be ready or not. And if he's not, then the Cowboys will know what to do next year. Because I think Witten's going to be kind of a coach next year, more on that side of things. And he'll know the intricacies about these guys, these specific 3 other guys, and who can really make this team or not. He'll have input this year. I'm guaranteeing he'll have some input this year. But I think next year, it'll be the process of moving on and starting looking for new tight ends or working with Blake Jarwin and whoever else you might have.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Cowboys, if they wanted to really shake it loose, and they had the opportunity this offseason to pick up a veteran tight end, but they was hesitant about it, and I think that they kind of knew that Jason Witten was going to come back. But I was thinking that, what's that kid name? I think his name was Cook. He was out there.
Jared Cook.
Cook. I think he was out there at the time. And there was some other tight end that we was like, hey, Cowboys, you guys need to go ahead and jump on the gun for that.
Was it Jesse James from the Steelers?
Yeah, I believe. So I'm thinking that they invested in the Jarwin. I think that they invested into the Schultz. And maybe some small piece of Cowboy Nation, they invested in Rico a little bit. And
yeah, I hope so for Rico's sake. I think he could be better than what they've allowed him to be for Rico. That's the thing. I think he still has something. And I'm also going to say that when it comes to I was going to well, I don't know, Fiance, I had a question for you.
I did have a question for you, Law, real quick, just because we've been going back and forth on this in the chat a bit about Travis Frederick. So I still am very, very worried about Travis Frederick until I see him in pads, until I see him actually doing football things, between the Guillain-Barré syndrome, between the labrum issue with the shoulder, between, I think he had, a hernia as well. like I'm still like I'm scared. I gotta say I'm scared. I'm worried. I see all this depth at our offensive line. Like, what are your thoughts right now about like Travis Frederick, the state of the offensive line? It just are you a little bit worried as well?
Well, if we look at it from a Madden perspective, and I know that we don't supposed to use Madden, but John Madden last year had Travis Frederick one of the the highest player on the Cowboys roster. Do you guys look at the roster ratings? Do you guys look at that?
Yeah, 96, I think, is
He
where
hit
he was.
96. So I know some people are gonna say, "Oh, Law, you can't use Madden ratings." But what I'm saying is that's how much of an impact Travis Frederick is to this team. I'm thinking that last year, if he was to play all of the games, we're a plus two win team. So instead of us being 10-6, maybe we would have won 12 games. So, and I know that last year was kind of a slow start, but I look at it too like this: if Travis Frederick is one of those guys that's starting to break down one by one, inch by inch, piece by piece, then we really need to see and find out, can we find a way to keep Joe Looney on this team? We had a little roundtable last night, and we was talking about Joe. I think Vach mentioned that Joe Looney wasn't that much of a factor because he was just only in the way. That they can do better with Connor McGovern at that spot, and I was like, man, I don't want to get rid of our resources because I don't want to deal with the xenophobia. I don't want to deal with the fact that in 2017 we was blindsided by our guy number 77 going down and not getting back up, and we had to throw the Chaz Greens out there in the Byron Bell. I don't want to have that past. I don't want to have that history again. So I'm thinking that we really need to figure out a way to know for sure if Travis Frederick can stay healthy, then we can find ways to win games. And I'm thinking that we got I'm talking about a lot of longitude and latitude with Joe Looney opposed to anybody else that can play that spot.
Interesting. Interesting. Actually, I think that Looney, even though I like Looney there, at center is probably his best spot. I don't know if he has as much versatility as we think he does at guard. I'm not really a big fan of him at guard. You got to move more, and he's just not as mobile as some of these other guys. In my opinion, I know he's fast. He runs on that field. We saw him, lead blocking and pulling, and he did a damn good job for Zeke. But again, I consistently, I don't know if he's that guy for us there. I never really loved Looney. I know he's our sixth lineman. That's why we initially signed him. He was our power lineup. We would put him in as a sixth. But the thing is that last year definitely, I think the expectations are what really was a difference for him. Last year we really didn't expect much from him, and he was like, damn, he actually did a decent job, filling in that spot, and again a less mobile center position. When I look at Connor McGovern, I gotta agree with Vach on this. Again, he's unknown, but his value is so great on not just our draft board, but across the league.
This is what I'm saying. I'm saying, yeah, you keep Connor, but I'm saying you don't get rid of Looney though. You find a way to find a spot on the roster for him. But continue.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. For this year, I said I'd hope the Cowboys keep 9. 9 would be the to secure your offensive line, which I think is the key in our offense. That's what you want to. You got Cam Fleming could play both sides tackle. You also got Connor Williams who could play tackle if need be, and you have you'll have the interior set up with Looney, McGovern, and Suafilo. So I think that's very important to keep these guys, and I think you keep all 9 of them. To be honest with you, but I do think that for next year. I think, and this is, I see Jay Farms, saying, we're sounding like fortune tellers other than fiance, but I think that next year, and I'm going to say it again, that Lyle Collins, because of the money, unless he balls out, has an unbelievable season, I think he's gone. You're going to have Connor Williams moving out there, and you're going to be moving in Connor McGovern interior. He plays center as well, McGovern. I mean, he actually is our third string center right now. So, I mean, I really like where we're going with Connor McGovern for the future.
You mind if I ask a question for both of you just to clarify? Like, you guys both mean like if somehow Frederick doesn't play this year, you guys think Connor McGovern right now would be
if Frederick doesn't play this year, I say you got to go with Looney again.
Okay. I just wanted to clarify that because for a second I wanted to kind of like get knocked over with the feather. I thought you guys are actually thinking Connor McGovern at this moment. No. Like, I do agree with both of you that, again, the overall potential and the versatility of Connor McGovern, I do think will make him better than Looney eventually, because I think his skill set, he's already starting off with a better skill set than Looney ever had. You know what I mean? Like, so his ceiling is a lot higher there. Again, it's up to him to, again, put in the work, put in the muscle, and again, do just what everyone else has to do and earn that spot. you know,
Wait,
I don't know. I don't know if Looney
that,
ends up back on our team
you're
because
right.
again, I think that I'm just.
This
It's
year
one of
or
those.
next
No,
year?
no, no. I'm saying next year. Just
Okay.
we signed him for a 2-year contract. I know we want to find a spot for him, and I do agree for like this year, if something crazy were to happen, he absolutely has a spot on this team. But beyond that, I think that the Cowboys are already kind of moving on beyond John Looney after that in a weird
June.
way.
Yeah.
Joe Looney, sorry. John.
Yeah, and the thing is with it is that he got one hell of a resume. Yeah, he got tape out there, and if I'm Joe, I'm sitting here like, hey, they won 10 games. I with me, you see. So, and then on top of that, it's a blessing too to have Connor Williams to play left tackle. He's filling in for Tyron Smith just in case his back doesn't hold up for 2019. So I'm thinking that I'm with you. Go with 9 offensive linemen, but this is the conundrum. Who do you go short with? I know for sure you're only going to go with 2 quarterbacks, right? But
Yeah.
what
Oh, yeah.
position
2
do you go
quarterbacks
short
and
with?
3 tight ends.
So you cut out another tight end, right?
I got to cut Rico out, man. I mean, unless he
Okay.
beats out Dalton
I
Schultz.
think part of it too is think of Olawale's versatility. We just signed him, we extended him, right? And the way that we kind of use him, he I'm not saying he's a tight end, but he's a very more receiver-like fullback. At least that's how the Raiders
More than
used
a
him. He's
blocker,
not a blocking one as much. And I think that right now with Witten and yes, with Schultz and with Jarwin, we have a more blocking-based tight end set there with Jarwin kind of exactly with Schultz. Yeah. So anyway, just my thoughts.
But that's a good thought because now if you look at it, maybe Cowboys are onto something with this. What if Linehan didn't know how to use Jarwin? Rico. What if Linehan didn't know how to use Jameis Olawale? Maybe the young Kellen Moore knows how to utilize the H-back tight fullback and also Rico. Maybe they want to give it a shot with the new system.
Sorry, you clicked out for a second there. What was the last? Sorry.
The last line was maybe with Kellen Moore, they are looking at it like maybe he know how to utilize Rico, maybe he know how to utilize Jameis Olawale, opposed to a quote unquote Scott Linehan.
Very good.
I think they might give him a chance, but the one thing we've heard consistently about Rico is that he's had issues learning the playbook even towards the end of the year, and I don't know how you can fix that. Like maybe this year he'll come in, they'll simplify the playbook for him. They'll make it work in some way so it works for him. But, at the end of the day, do we really have time to spend on a potential thing like that right now? We have, we're trying to get a Super Bowl and we have other moves to make. And the way I see it with Jason Witten back, like it seems a little ridiculous to have 4 tight ends in there when I feel like Witten's more of the insurance there. Like you don't need to spend more time on
another factor I think is where are we going? Like you made a great point about Kellen Moore, which makes Rico more expendable if he cannot be used properly by Kellen Moore. In the sense of we're going to use less tight ends probably. I mean, we last year went allowed 13, and so I think that this year there's not as much need for tight ends, maybe more needs for receivers. Hence why I think we go an extra receiver and take away a tight end. We got 9. We just talked about how many spots we got to fill with so much talent. And like Fiance said, can we hold a spot? We got Tanqueray on a
right.
It's not to take an injured spot. He's taking a 53 spot. So we got Tank there. Let's say if he's not ready for week 1, you got Crawford on there. You got Zeke on there. If they got any kind of suspensions, and I'm not sure how that works. I don't know if that hits the 53, but the way that this would work when it comes to to these other players, that we have to really really be wise about who we keep this year because of so much depth. And that's why I think the tough cuts are these guys that could they be guys that can help us out? Probably if we had more need for them at this moment. But Rico, would he make the team over Michael Jackson? Would Rico make the team over I'm trying to think. How about Mike Weber? I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, I'm just trying to think. What do we do?
You got some good points there. I'm gonna do a reach, and this is me reaching, Cowboy Nation. This is me reaching. You guys know I love to reach a little bit, and I'm gonna reach deep down in that bag. I think that Rico, you guys remember when he played in the preseason? I think he had like a 2 or 3 touchdown game. I'm thinking, was that with Kellen Moore was throwing him the ball? I think that Kellen Moore got something. I think they got something going on, man. I'm thinking that Kellen Moore saying, "Hey, I know what Rico can do, and this is what I was able to do when I was out there on the field with him. I know his abilities, and these are his best routes." I'm thinking that there's some type of chemistry going on. It's just me reaching, though. I wish I was still able to have those highlights, but for those who have,
I remember that was the Arizona game.
Yeah, I think that was
he
Kellen
dominated,
Moore.
and that was Kellen Moore throwing the ball, and it was, and
yeah.
that was our first live stream ever for MCF for a game day live stream. Was that Hall of Fame game, and he did kind of and I know you're saying it could be a connection there. I do think that's the reason why also he's still on the, there's no other tight end. You got McElroy or whatever. He's just a scrub for snaps. But
right.
but I'm saying Rico is really he's going to be that guy that could be like another one of those pieces. What you're saying, it's not that much of a reach because when it comes to utilizing Rico the right way, I see some people in the chat saying, you said, trust me, I would love Rico to ball out, but will he?
Yeah, it was Cooper. it was Jay said it was Cooper, wasn't Kellen Moore. My bad.
Oh, was it? Oh, it was Cooper Rush?
So, well, either way, so then, all right. So, you know what? I do see the potential there. And I think, again, if we're really seeing a quote-unquote new offense, a Kellen Moore offense, and there's a potential for Rico to have an impact, he'll be there. So where do we go short at in the sense of where do you see us maybe not having someone like, do you see us? Because I still think Pollard and Weber and Zeke, I still see
don't forget Darius Jackson
staying that way. I agree with everyone. I think all of us here do agree 2 quarterbacks. That's it.
Yeah, 2 quarterbacks.
2 quarterbacks. Where do we go light at? Where do we go? We'll go.
That's a good question. 2 quarterbacks. Let's see if we can do this. 2 quarterbacks. We go with 3 running backs, right? And the fullback.
Yeah. So we're cutting Darius Jackson.
Is it? Would you rather have Weber or Jackson?
I mean, Weber, I don't know. That's one of those battles. That's one of those close ones. But if you got Olawale, he's our 4th, then really we don't need any more than that, right? So,
and Olawale just signed a 3-year guarantee, $5 million. Now, the only way you can get that $5 million back if you cut your boy Allen Hurns, huh?
I don't hate. I love Allen Hurns, but I'm looking at this financially and economically. The way the Cowboys going to look at it. So
yeah, right. So, and Cowboy Nation, this is all fun and games. We have yet to do the training camp. We still in OTAs for crying out loud. But what we're just doing is as fun and game. Don't crucify us for going over the 53-man roster. But I'm thinking that ideally you go with 2 quarterbacks, right? And then you go with probably not 4 running backs, but 3.
4. 4 with Olawale.
And then you throw Olawale as a fullback, who's a / hybrid H-back who can run tight end plays. So maybe, like you said, you can eliminate one of the tight end positions because now you're saying you got Jameis Olawale who can run routes.
And the thing, Olawale would play more like a Dalton Schultz type guy, right? Than a Rico or Jarwin or Witten. So he'd be more of the blocking, kind of going for the. I don't know if Dalton Schultz is a great receiver type tight end, but I think Olawale might be better than him catching the ball and then going on the field, obviously. So. Yeah, I mean, we don't really have.
To me and you, what you're saying is Olawale is more valuable than a Schultz right now. To me, I'm thinking that's the truth because you already got reliable.
His contract reflects that.
Yeah, contract reflects that. So we go with that, and then on top of that, our biggest problems to dissect will be the wide receivers in the defensive front. Those are
I mean, if you add 9, right? So you got 2 plus 3. And then 9 more for the offensive line. You got 14 there, and then I'm just trying, just get a quick number here because you're going to keep about 5 receivers at least, and 3 tight ends. So
low key still miss Keith Smith.
y'all know I miss Keith Smith, man.
That's it. I mean, we're saying it too. It's just even if we use Olawale the same way you use Keith Smith, he just doesn't have that same skill set. It just doesn't make sense to use him that way. But Keith Smith, and it's not like he's the greatest guy ever. It's just the way that he worked with the run game, with the rest of the guys, with Zeke. Yeah. Damn it.
So it's a tough call there because again, receivers. I think it's just a matter of you're going to keep 6, and who do you keep? If you keep 5, it's really going to be tight. And if you go with tight ends, I think 3 is probably the number, but it could be 4, like you said, for the reason of Olawale. That could be a little more sacrificial. Whether maybe it's Dalton Schultz, what we know. And then you look at the defensive front, shit, I said, put 10 guys on there. I mean, I'm just going to throw 10 guys on there.
Right.
I know there's 6 linebackers and, defensive backs. What do we got? Like, we're going to have probably, 3-4 safeties and 5 corners, about 9 guys back there. Yeah, long snapper, punter, and kicker. What do you think about our kicker, man? What do you think we're gonna?
Oh man, that's my biggest concern. Shout out to DJ Sports Talk for the donation to help grow the nation, man. Hey, we on our path, man, to get 6, man. But this is the thing. I'm thinking that you probably can go short if you really want to gamble. You can go short at linebacker because we line up in the 4-2 so many times opposed to a 4-3. That'd probably be the only angle. But the only problem is that all of our starters in the linebacking position, Sean Lee been down, Jalen Smith been hurt, before, and then on top of that, LVE, he got some type of pelvic issues going on, and those are big reservations and big flags for us to try to go short in those positions. But
that's a great point because we are running mainly 2 linebackers, so that's a great point. And again, the injury concerns are kind of like the receiver concerns. When you got Hearns in there, you kind of need him in case something happens, right? Because you don't want Cobb having his injuries or Tavon having injuries. You got to have Hearns then in that spot. And for $6.25 million for Hearns as a 3rd receiver, I'll take it. That's a good deal. But for him to be our 5th or 6th receiver, not a good deal. When you look at, and again, the question mark come on injuries. I mean, you're looking at like you're saying about linebacker, going with our real base, which is going to be the nickel, 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 5 defensive backs. I think that linebacker is expendable, but then with the injuries and also special teams, they do play a lot of special teams. These guys, Justin Marsh, Lillard, Chris Covington, Joe Thomas. I think Joe Thomas can be. I think he's an underrated guy.
That's my dog.
I think at the end, Covington or Lillard ends up being like if you had to go thin on that, if you had to let one of those 2 walk, Lillard or Covington would.
I think Lillard is the guy right now because right now I'm hearing he's behind Christian Covington, but hey, God, man, I mean, you can make a great points there though. It's hard to cut back on sticks when you got 3 guys that are kind of injury prone-ish, So.
Man, this what makes it all wonderful, Cowboy Nation. My Cowboys family, we approaching the hour marker, man. I was going to wrap this thing up. Got a lot of things to do this on this beautiful Saturday, man. What you guys got planned on for the day?
Oh, man, beautiful Saturday, man. We just are honored to be on here discussing Cowboy football with you, man. We love it. We talk about it 24/7 on our own personal lives. We go on camera for 2 hours a day and do the same thing. We're just gonna, we're gonna spend some nice fiance and MCF time together here, and you're just relaxing. The kids are with the other parents right now, so we got a little time off here every 2 weeks.
Free time, man. I know how that goes.
Yeah, but thank you, man. Thank you, Law. Really, we appreciate you. We love your show. We watch your channel all the time, and I love I love the discussion. Whether we all agree or not, and we're not ever going to all agree. I'm talking about the chat. I'm talking about YouTubers, whatever. That's cool with me because in the end, it's about the passion. Getting number 6. That's what it's about. To me and to fiance and to us here at MCF, the star over everything forever, man. That's what it is, and
I like that.
That's what it's about,
man.
It's about over every player. It's over every front office guy. It's over everything. It's the star.
Yeah.
Again, number 6 and beyond.
And then while you having my Cowboys family inside your name, man, that's everything because you spoke a great levels of knowledge when you said we can't agree on everything. People will believe that Auntie Shirley cooks the best spaghetti, right? And then in reality is Auntie Pam. But sometimes as family, we would tell Auntie Shirley, oh, spaghetti was good. But we tell Auntie Pam, man, you throwing it down. but that's what family is all about. I mean, we're supposed to have different views. And then on top of that, there's some family members who would tell Auntie Shirley straight to her face, look, the spaghetti is trash.
Hey, we all agree what fun would that be. Exactly. But the point is, at the end of the day, we're all family, and that's the point. The one thing every single Cowboy fan in here, regardless of what you think of this team, the organization, whatever, we all just want them to win number 6.
Yeah. And beyond.
Oh man, when we win that number 6, I'm gonna have tears flowing down my face. We're gonna go right back to the
shit. There won't be a dry eye in the house.
Won't be a dry eye because we've been waiting for it since 1995, and that's why I say it's live like 95, baby. Let's get this thing going one way or another, man. My Cowboys family, tell them where they can follow you at, whether it's Instagram and Twitter and all this stuff. Let them know what you guys' handles are and these sorts of things.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you guys can find us on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Gmail. It's your mama's house at My Cowboys Family, guys, across all social media. Thank you for having us on here, Law, and never forget the number one thing.
Go Cowboys, baby! Let's go! Let's go!
Yes, go Cowboys! Yes,
I'm ready.
Woo! I'm ready to run through a wall, man. Take this stuff down, boy. Yeah,
let's do
baby.
it, baby.
Let's do it, baby. Hey,
week one we're gonna be there. I want to
Yes.
see the week one. We're gonna be there with you, man. I can't wait. The experience on Saturday, the game on Sunday. It's gonna be a 2-day event. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. When we beat the fucking Giants, sorry for my language. When we beat the Giants,
get it out, man. That's what I'm talking about, family. Hey, and then on top of that, tell people, man, tell people about your Discord, man, because not only that you guys are a family, but you guys talk not just about Cowboys, but you guys got tons of other things as family that we talk about and that we love to do as far as movies and things like that. Let them know about your Discord link if you want.
Yeah, guys, if you want to go ahead, you can get the link for our Discord in the description of all of our videos. But yes, guys, we have a Discord related specifically to everything Cowboys, guys. Cowboy Nation always. But we do have some side channels as well. You guys can talk movies. You guys can talk music. Yeah. We have some fantasy football as well. Obviously, right now a little quiet. But when the season gets going again, we do have a fantasy football thing we do there, which is a lot of fun. We get into a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and that's the whole thing. It's a whole thing. It's 24/7, 365, man. That's what we're about. And I know you guys out there watching, 53 people watching in here right now, and you know, we got hundreds and thousands and millions of fans out there that, you know, if you really love to talk Cowboy football, NFL football, or just, you know, just converse with other people in the chat, that's, you know, definitely check it out. And it's all free. You know, Discord is free. You have one as well, Law.
Yes.
And yeah, it's great stuff. It's keep it family. You know, it's Cowboy fans. And just keep it respectful. I don't mind every opinion in the book, but just keep it respectful, no personal attacks. That's why we do it on our channel. That's why we do it in the Discord. And just appreciate you again, man, and the whole Cowboy Nation. Star over everything, brother. Go Cowboys.
Indeed, man. Go Cowboys. And appreciate each and every last one of you all. Thank you all for tuning in to the nation. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content. Let a friend, neighbor, foe know where to go. We're hearing a lot of stuff talking with the NFC East. But, guys, y'all already know. We got the most Super Bowls in this thing, and if they still talking about we haven't won since 1995, well, what's taking you guys so long? Be able to catch up with us then, because at the end of the day, the neck muscles are looking strong for you guys, because y'all are looking up to the greatest. And you can say that to any Eagles fan, any Redskin fan, and any Giants fan, that we are the nation, that we are the best, baby. Hey, we located in the West, but we own the East because we all some beasts, and nobody can talk better than us. Nobody can out-debate the Dallas Cowboys. Let that be the facts. Facts over opinion all day, every day. Let's continue to get this thing going called grind, and that's been my time. I really thank you guys for yours. And remember, you all are listening to absolutely nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Peace. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's G-O.